This is an updated description of Quickdraw's ability to display multi-layer cloths. I'm actually going to walk through two examples. One is the simple double weave square, and the second of which is a folded point diamond. So there's kind of two different rules and different tools for those two structures. So I'm going to start by looking at the double weave diamond. So when I go to view display multi-layered cloth, you maximize that. It's kind of confusing to see what it has here, but it's actually a two-layer cloth. So what I'm going to do is tell it it has a two-layer cloth. And the default is to work by warp rotation. And so it's actually showing me the two layers, one on the upper here, and the front would be down on the bottom. But now what I'm actually looking at here, normally you're looking straight on at a warp. I'm now doing a vertical look straight down the warp threads. And the warp threads are physically shown in the colors they were originally drawn in. For example, the yellow warps are on the front, the red warps are on the back layer. This is a two-layer fabric. Now I do have an ability here to drag any one of those warp threads. And as I move it up and down, it's going to move the warp as it goes back and forth. So I've got that ability here. I can also throw the shot from the right, or I could throw it from the left. Now the color that's actually in each shot here is not the weft color in the drawing. It's an artificial color sequence. It's actually shown in this column. So when I do a first shot, as I draw each additional shot, it's going to change colors. You'll see accumulation of the colors here. And you can actually watch the shot form the fabric shot by shot as it goes back and forth across the fabric from the bottom working its way up. And in this case, I can actually see the two layers. And again, it's, for troubleshooting purposes, I can move those guys. It's an elastic thread, so I can physically see those structures. And if I want to, depending upon the fabric, if I switch the order here, so it's the odd sequences on the front and the even sequences on the back, you'll notice I kind of get garbage here because it's not in an order that makes sense. So when those are in the right order, you can easily see the two layers. And I can see the weave structure here in the straight tabbies back and forth. Now, the other tools here, the auto shed and the by shaft, are really much more appropriate to the folded point twill. So if I go back into the display multi-layer cloth with that, now since it's a different set of rules, if I hit the auto, if I go back to a shaft view and then look for auto, it's actually going to look at the shaft sequences and lay those in a more consistent manner with a folded cloth, since it was actually originally developed for folded cloth. And in this view, if I ask for sheds, it will actually show where the shed is for each shot. And I can assign each shaft to a different layer. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are all in the bottom layer here. And the upper shafts, 6 through 9, are all in the upper layer. And as I do next shots, I can physically see the folded cloth. In this case, you'll notice it goes across. I can see how the thread folds around, and I can see it wraps around, comes back in. So it's physically going to show me that shot by shot. If I want to see what happens if I go the other direction, I can actually reverse the threading sequence. That would put the fold on the other side, so I can kind of see that's not what I would want for that original pattern. And if I want to actually see the whole thing, if I go back to first shot and then previous, it's actually going to show me all 144 shots. So I can see by the time I get done, there was what the pattern looked like. Turn the shed off. It gives me a nice view description of that's how I can see how a cloth structure is done. Thank you.